What Trump's going to do is just declare victory, right? He's going to declare victory. But that doesn't mean he's the winner. He's just going to say he's the winner.
That was leaked audio of Steve Bannon from October 20th of 2020, laying out Trump's plan to falsely declare victory no matter what the results of the election are. And Bannon explains how exactly this plot would play out, how it would work out in Trump's favor. Let's listen.
More of our people vote early that count. Theirs voted mail. And so they're gonna have a natural disadvantage, and Trump's gonna take advantage of it. That's our strategy. He's gonna declare himself a winner. So when you wake up Wednesday morning, it's gonna be a firestorm. We're gonna have Antifa crazy, the media crazy, the courts are crazy, and Trump's gonna be sitting there mocking, tweeting, you lose. I'm the winner, I'm the king.
So that was part of Bannon's big brain plot to essentially steal the election from the rightful winner, Joe Biden, and at that time, assuming Biden wins. And it is interesting that he assumed Biden would win.
Yeah, well, that's interesting that they assume, and he at least seems to understand the red mirage, that whole thing that we spent literally months trying to get the country to understand what would happen, and then they all pretended that they didn't. But also that when he's talking behind the scenes to whoever it was that thought his jokes were funny there, he doesn't even pretend, like they're supposed to pretend that something corrupt happened, but Trump really did win. It was stolen. He doesn't even pretend that.
Yeah.
Like he's very clear. No, like yeah, they're gonna win, and we're gonna steal it anyway. The only thing where he was really wrong was Antifa's gonna be crazy, the courts are gonna be crazy, the media was crazy. No, stuff was crazy for months after the election. It wasn't Antifa in the courts. It was Trump's legal team, Trump's tweets. You guys, all of you were crazy. The mobs were crazy.
Yeah, the mobs were absolutely crazy. I mean, we saw what that looked like on January 6th. But to your point about the courts, remember the Trump camp challenged the results of the election and alleged there was widespread voter fraud in 61 court battles, and they lost 60 of them. Okay, and you know why? Because there was no evidence of widespread voter fraud.
Well, that really made it unfair. Super hard to win those cases then.
And to me,
I feel for them.
Look, this makes it clear, like there are allegations of voter fraud. We already knew it was BS. But like this leaked audio makes it clear that like Bannon expected Biden to win, and they were gonna lie and do whatever they could to steal the election in their favor, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is like out of everything that we've seen attempted by the Trump camp, this was definitely attempted. It didn't work, obviously. But this was like the genius idea that genius Steve Bannon had in mind, right? Just say that you won anyway. Just say that you won.
Yeah.
Just say that you won. I'm really smart.
Just tweet about it and you win.
It's just so stupid. Like, there have been multiple profiles. I think one of the more recent ones was in the New Yorker, if I'm not mistaken, on Steve Bannon, and they can't stop calling him smart. He's a bad guy and everything, yeah, but he's super smart. Is he smart? This was his strategy? Just say that you won.
I don't know.
God, like bloated weirdo who somehow thinks that he's like part of the best race, the top. Look at that guy. You think you're on top?
I don't know.
Anyway, let's continue. The pre-election audio, by the way, comes from Mother Jones. They obtained it. Here's what we know about it. The pre-election audio comes from a meeting between Bannon and half a dozen supporters of an exiled Chinese mogul for whom Bannon has been working. Bannon also helped this guy with a series of pro-Trump Chinese language news websites that have promoted an array of far-right misinformation, including a video streaming site called GTV. The meeting was intended to help GTV plan its election night coverage, right? So this exiled gentleman, I think, lives in the United States now. Gu Wengwei is his name. Now, that was not the only plot to help Trump win the elections. Here's more on how he directly helped sabotage Joe Biden's campaign. Bannon met with this Guo guy with with his associates, and it occurred a few weeks after Bannon, working with Giuliani, had provided the contents of Hunter Biden's laptop to the New York Post. Bannon acknowledged in a recording that he had also helped supply Guo's supporters with this material. He then directed his backers to put sex videos and other salacious content from the laptop online. Let's just address that real quick. I don't know if you guys have seen those Hunter Biden videos on Twitter. Why is the right wing trying to make Hunter Biden look cool?
I don't know.
Have you noticed that?
They're very obsessed with seeing him naked. I've noticed that.
They are obsessed with seeing him naked, but like, one of the more recent ones has like a pretty dope rap song behind it. Like it looks like a music video. Yeah. Like I'm like, yeah, I don't know if this is really doing what you guys think it's doing, but okay.
Well, yeah, and we're obviously being dismissive. If he had any attachment to American politics, we would care.
Yeah.
He has nothing to do with it. He's an apparently troubled guy for legitimate reasons, and also gets up to stuff that conservatives would consider like, ooh, risque. Neither of those,
he has sex.
He does occasionally F. Neither of those have anything to do with American politics. He wasn't having meetings in Trump Tower with like Russian exiles and whatever. He's not doing business deals to set up Biden Tower in Moscow. Like find some attachment. He's not giving campaign speeches, even shallow stuff.
Yeah.
He has nothing to do with any of it. And let me just remind people.
No, I love you guys, like just take this in. The story is amazing, okay? Bannon's big-brained strategy was number one, just declare that you won. And then that's it. If you declare it, then it means you won, right? That was strategy number one, failed. What a genius. Strategy number two, put out there that Joe Biden's son was addicted to drugs and had sex. And put together these really fun-looking like music video type tweets that will do what? Like no one cares. Like people will care if, like you mentioned, Hunter Biden has any political power or any influence over policies that impact our daily lives. He doesn't.
Well, the right wing, like they try to get worked up over the Hunter Biden stuff, but that's just projection. They know how bad the Trump kids stuff is. They know that Trump kids were literally working in the White House. They know that people like Jared Kushner went off and got billions of dollars handed to them specifically because of their attachment to the former president. And they just want there to be whataboutism in that area, and it just hasn't stuck. And all these plans, just bear in mind, whether it's the Trump's just gonna tweet or Hunter Biden's D, or like whether it's we're gonna throw it back to the state, all this stuff that they tried to do to take over the country, all Trump had to do was suck a little bit less as president. That's it. It was a very close election.
Yeah.
In part because Biden's a really weak candidate. In part because the Democrats didn't really do much to give people a reason to believe that they would do anything in office, and they've made good on that. They haven't really done much. Also, the country's ridiculously gerrymandered. There's a lot of voter suppression. All he needed to do was like maybe take the pandemic a little bit seriously, not even totally seriously. A little bit, he could have legitimately won the election, but he wasn't willing to do any of that.
Right.
It would be so easy with how rigged this system is for them to stay in power forever if they could even pretend to give a damn about the American people.
They can't do it though.
And so instead they have to do coups.
Look, we talk about incentive structures, right? And right now, the way our government is set up, it incentivizes the worst people to seek power. Because what Congress, for instance, messages to the American people right now is, you might come in as an affluent person if you're lucky, you might get elected into Congress, but you get to trade individual stocks based on insider information without any consequences.
Yep.
So you'll come out as a millionaire. You'll also probably get to take advantage of that revolving door and make a ton of money as a lobbyist. The incentive structure is screwed up. It attracts the worst people to run for Congress. And I think the same thing can be said of the executive branch, especially with Donald Trump using the office of the presidency to enrich himself, to direct federal taxpayer money to his businesses.
Yep.
So that's really the problem. Look, there are tons of bad people out there. The question is, how do we change our system? How do we change our government? How do we reform it so government doesn't attract the worst people among us? But we're not having that conversation. And I think that's the problem.